My dear students, I hope you must be in the fine condition, and also I extend my welcomes to you. In our episode of the measurement part 7, means in our the last class, we discussed what is your the different types of your the errors and the how that errors to be your the measured, means the errors with and it's the significant figures. These two things we discussed in our last class. Are you feel it interesting or not? And I had also given you some tasks, means you take your the some significant figures and make it see the addition, subtraction, multiplication, divisions. And at the earlier of that episode, I said that if the number of the digits which is provided in any measurement, all the digits are not of your the significant, and which are to be or the significant, to know that one we have followed here the different rules, and I have written that the rules for your the significant figures, means mostly the lion's share is takes by your the zeros, either the 0 is your the starting or it's the ending or it's the any intermediate position. In one case it will be the accepted, means the significant figures to be the countable, and in another cases we also shown that if the zeros are there, but their significant figures are not here the measured, or that is not here the taken into account. And then we have switch over what is the error, and very simply I am saying that the error is nothing but it is here the magnitude of the difference between the observed value and its the true value. So, true value is the which one, how we have to determine for the true value, or it is the actual value to know, we have to take in more and the more observations, and more and the more readings if you will take, then by taking it is the average, or which we have said that is the mean, then we will get it is the true value. Once the true value is known, then you will find out it is the absolute error. That absolute error is the difference between that true value with its the observed or the measured values. Then you have to take in its the mean, which is called its the mean absolute error. That mean absolute error divided with your the mean value or its the actual value, that will give you the fractional error or your the relative error. If it is multiplied by your the 100, then it will give you the percentage of error. And these we have discussed at the fag end of your the that episode, which is your the part 7. And those who are not present on that class and they are present today, they also go for your the YouTube and you can take its the visuals. And now I request to you, please take your the pen and the paper and the put to the attention how we have to find, means in the last class we have not done here the any problems. So, today we will count it's the absolute error, it's the mean error, and I will give you the one of it's the example. Let us now come and give here the attention. The question is, suppose the height of a student, the height of a student is measured as 5 feet, 5.1 feet, 5.2 feet, 5.3 feet, and here the 5 feet. Suppose for a student we have taken here the 5, it is the observations of here the height. Then you have to find the first one is mean value, second one is absolute error, third one is mean absolute error, mean absolute error, fourth one is your the fractional error or your the relative error, next one is your the percentage of error, percentage of error. This is your the question. So how will you solve it? Means those who are present in the last class, I given its the detail, and today also I also given its the hints. Now you proceed. First you have to find its the mean value. The mean value is also called its the average value. So how will you find its the average value? Answer. First you have to find here the mean value. Mean value. How will you find the mean? If the number of the observations are there, you have to add, with that number of observations you have to divide. Means how many observations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, these observations to be are the added, 5.2 plus 5.3 plus of the 5 divided by your the 5. Then what will be the 5, 3, 8, 2, 10, 11, 1. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, means that is the 26.1. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 6, 6, 5, 11, 1 which is the 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 plus 1, 26 by your the 5, that means your the 5.22. So 5 which is the 26 is a 5, 5, 11, 5 to 10, then the 10, 5.22 feet. So this is its the mean one. Then you have to find its the absolute error. Absolute error. Absolute error. So how will you find the absolute error? On that class I have said, if the first absolute error is equals to your the del x1, absolute error means what is the definition I have written? It is the difference between your the mean value with its the observed value. So if for the first observation, that is your the del x1 will be how much? This is your the 5, means if you will say this is your the x, means x minus of the x1. This is your the x1, this is the x2, this value is the x3, this is the x4, this is your the x5. So x minus x1 means x is your the 5.22 minus of your the 5, that is your the 0.22. Then x minus of the x2. So 5.22, that is equals to your the del x2. So del x2 is equals to x minus x2, 5.22. What is the x2 value? 5.1. So that is the 5.1. So the 5.1 means that is equals to your the 0.12. So 2 with 0 to 0.12. Then for your the del x3, that is the x minus of your the x3, that is equals to your the 5.22. Which one is the x3 student? 5.2. So that is the 5.2. So 0.02. Then your the del x4, that is equals to x minus x4. Are you following to this one not? So del x4 is the x minus x4. X minus x4 is 5.22 minus what is the x4 value? That is the 5.3. So 5.3. So this is equals to minus 0.8. You see here the del x1 is your the positive, here the positive, here the positive, here it is your the negative. Means the absolute error may be your the positive or your the negative. Similarly, there is your the del x5, that is the x minus of your the x5, that is the 5.22. What is the x5 one? That is your the 5, that is your the 0.22. So this is equals to your the absolute error. So the second part is over. Can you proceed for your the third part? That is the mean absolute error. Mean absolute error. So mean absolute error, that is equals to your the del x. We have written as your the del x, and in some books you also find that is the del x bar. So if I have written that is in the del x form in the last class, so that is your the del x. So del x will be how much? It is the mod of del x1 mod of del x2 plus dash 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 plus mod of del x5 divided by your the 5. So when the del x1 mod will be taken, this will be the plus, this will be the plus, this will be the plus, but this value was your the minus, but with the modulus it will give you the plus. So all these values will be your the plus divided by the 5. Then you will find what is your the del x value, and be remember that the mean absolute error is always your the positive one. So that then is your the mean absolute error is your the over. Next one is the fractional error or your the percentage of error. Fractional error or percentage of error. So, this is your the relative error, fractional error or the relative error. So, if you will go for your the relative error, so what is the formula of the relative error? That is the ratio of del x by your the x. Del x is what? Your the mean absolute error, which we have found, mean absolute error, that is equals to your the del x, and x is what? X is your the mean value. So, that one means this value divided by your the x is equals to your the 5.22, that one is its the relative error. And what is its the value? You have to determine. Then your the percentage of error. So, percentage of error is your the 100 times of your the relative error or your the fractional error. That relative error, the fractional error is the this one. So, 100 into that one will be your the percentage of the error. Are you clear, my students? Likewise, if any problems will come, and you can solve to that one. So, this is your the last class discussions, and we have gone through your the some problems. And today we are going to discuss about your the last part of this unit, that is your the propagation of error. Propagation of error. Propagation of the errors. So, this is your the last part of our this unit. So, in this contents we have to discuss the propagation of the error. In that propagation, what we will discuss? Propagation means what? What is the meaning of your the propagation? Propagation means to go ahead, or in some books you will find that the algebra of the errors also means for this propagation you will go for its the addition or your the subtraction or your the multiplication or your the division, and the another fifth one we will discuss later. So, let us now first go for your the addition of your the two errors. Means whenever error is there, means I said whenever a human being is there, he or the she must have the errors. So, whenever we are going to measure some of the physical quantity, there is a possibility of the errors. Suppose we are going to determine the value of the A, but the A which we determined that has its the error, and that error is equals to your the very small. I said one is the error, one is the wrong. From the observed value to its the actual value, if the difference is the very less, then that is called your the error, otherwise it is your the wrong. So, whenever a error is there with its the actual value, either it is your the more than or it is the less than 2 of that small fraction. So, A is equals to A plus or minus of the del A. Suppose another one is the B, which is not your the B with some addition or the subtraction with that absolute error value, and that one is your the plus or minus of the del B. So, if actually the A and the B are the two true values, but that true value with some error, it will give you for A plus or minus del A, for B that is the B plus or minus del B. Are you clear? What is our aim? To find the addition. Means though the two bodies are there, or the two observations are there, or the two measurements are there, instead of the 2 you may have the 3, 4, 5 also. So, if A is the B is the true value and it's the addition, if that result is your the Z, but with the errors, this A is not your the A, this B is not your the B, but when we are adding means the errors to be or the adding means error with its the true value. So, this implies A plus B is equals to, which we are getting means A is equals to A plus or minus del A, and then plus of B plus or minus del B. if A is not here the A, B is not here the A, when A plus B is here the Z, then this one total one, that will be here the Z with its the some error. Are you clear or not? If this one is the error one, this one is the error one, when two errors to be the added with its the real value or its the true value, some error must be there. Suppose we are going to make some curry. If the cheese is become here the slightly, that means you can say here the sour, then what will happen? Whatever may be the curry, that's result will always to be the sour. It may be with the smaller way or it may be with the larger way. That depends the way of the performing. So, if A plus del A is not here the real one, B plus del B is not the real one, when that two be the added with its the real, some fractions will be there. Are you clear to my point? So, this shows Z plus or minus del Z is equals to A plus or minus del A plus B plus or minus del B. Are you clear to my students? This Z is actually our A plus B. But A is not A, B is not B, so Z is also not here the Z. Though A is not A, that is A plus or minus del A, B is not the B because with the error, that is the B plus or minus del B. When that two be are the added, so that will not give you here the Z, that Z with here the some error. So Z plus or minus del Z is equals to here the this much. So, though we have taken A and here the B are the true values with some errors, means with the absolute error. The absolute error in A is here the del A, absolute error in B is here the del B. So, A now it is the A plus or minus del A, B now it is here the B plus or minus del B. We are going to find the addition. So, though A and B to be are the added, the real value is the Z, though A is not A, B is not B, so the addition will not here the Z. Therefore, we have taken Z with here the error, that is the plus or minus del Z. So, what you are guessing, my students? If we determine the value of here the del Z with our the known values, with our known values are which are? That is here the del A and here the del B, A and here the B. So, if this del Z can be expressed in terms of that, and what form it to satisfy, according to that we will calculate what will be its the error value. Clear to my students? So, let us now proceed. So, Z plus or minus del Z is equals to A plus or minus del A plus B plus or minus del B, because this is the plus, means you have to open here the brackets. So, this is equals to A plus B, these two were taken together, then plus or minus of here the del A plus or minus of the del B. These two are the taken on the next side. Then this A plus B, A is the real value, B is the real value. So, A plus B is what? That is your the Z. So, A plus B is your the Z. Then this is the plus or minus del A plus or minus del B. Means it has its the four choice. What are the four choice? One is the del A plus del B plus del A minus del B minus del A plus del B minus del A minus del B. So, here there are the four choices. So, out of these four choices, which one we have to taken? Means we have to choose likewise one in which all to be the included, and that value will be the del A plus of here the del B. The question comes, sir, why del A plus del B we have taken, not of the this one? Because suppose I will give you one example. You have written an answer of here the one page. Suppose this is the one page, you have written some answer, and that page is copied and given to your the 3 or the 5 evaluators. So, when the 5 evaluators are taken, that the same one, and one of the evaluator shows your the 2 error, one shown your the 3 error, one shown your 4 error, one shown your the 5 error, and though there are the 5 persons. Suppose the fifth one also shown here the 4 error. So, if for the same copy the 5 persons are evaluating and they have shown such of the errors, actually for which evaluator will say that is evaluating correctly, means who has detected more errors, means the more errors is detected by this evaluator. So, if the 5 errors evaluated by the person, within that 5 errors, these 4 errors will come, these 3 error will come, these 2 error will come. Suppose one he evaluated here the paper with here the 2 errors, means he has not given valued it properly, because he is not given the attention towards that properly, because other 3 errors are also there. Therefore, if the 4 evaluators are there and they are measuring for the same one, for which one we have to accept, my students? We have to accept for the more evaluation one, and that one is your the del A plus of the del B. Therefore, out of these 4 one, we have to take in that of here the plus del A plus del B. Only these factor we have to take in, because within this factor the other 3 factors will come. Are you clear to my student? So, z plus or minus del z is equals to the this much. So, z is the cancel. So, this can we say del z is equals to del A plus del B. Del A plus del B means the del z is the error factor. The error factor of its the measurement is equals to del A plus del B. What is our the del z? This is the absolute error. The absolute error of the addition is equals to the sum of the absolute error of the individuals. This is also your the absolute error. This one is also your absolute error. So, this is the absolute error of the one of the provided physical quantity. This is the absolute error of the second physical quantity. So, what is the conclusion we draw now? If the 2 or the more physical quantities with its the error to be added, here the 2, it may be the 3, 4, 5 added, the absolute error of the addition, z is the addition value, absolute error of the addition is equals to the sum of the absolute error of the individuals. Let us take one example. Suppose length is your the 5.5 plus or minus 0.03 centimeter and breadth is equal to your the 2 plus or minus 0.04 centimeter. The length and the breadth of a certain physical quantity, suppose you are the rectangle, suppose a rectangle. For the rectangle length and the breadth are the given. The question comes, what is the value of this length if it is the L, this breadth if it is the B, then what is the value of L plus B? Means when these two error quantities to be added, then what will be its the value? So, if there is no error, then we can say that if L is the 5, breadth is the 2, B is the 2, then what is the L plus B? That is the 7. So, what will be its the result? This is not your the true one, because true with the absolute error. This is also the true with the absolute error. So, when the true with absolute error being the added, the real value will be it's the true values addition with the sum of the absolute error. Means what is this, the real values of these two? Real values of these two is your the 5 plus 2, which is your the A plus B, means that is your the Z. Then we have to find plus or minus of the del z. With this, there is a plus or minus of the del z. What is the del z? Sum of the relative errors of that physical quantities. And here we have taken as the A and the B are the physical quantities, but here it is the L and the B are the physical quantity. So what is your the, if L is equals to your length, then what is the value of the 0.03? That is your the del L. What is the value of the 0.04? That is the del small b, because I have written it is your the b. Then this will be your the del L plus del B, means 0.03 plus 0.04. So this will be the 7 plus or minus this of your the centimeter is given. So this is the centimeter. Clear to my students? If the two physical quantities are given with its the error, then for its the addition, you add its the real values and the error values to be or the added. Please remember, though it is the addition, to be or the added, but there is some change for your the subtraction. Suppose we will go instead of the addition, that is your the subtraction. We will go for the subtraction. Means for the same example, a plus b will be your the a minus b. If its the real value is the z, then your the a minus b will be the a is the this plus will be your the minus. Then what will happen? This will be your the with the real value plus or minus that. So z plus or minus of del z is equals to a plus or minus del a. Instead of the addition, it is the subtraction. So though it is the subtraction, if you expand the bracket, then a plus or minus del a, this one will be your the minus b, and this will be your the plus or minus. With your the minus means this plus will become your the minus, this minus will become the plus. So this plus or minus will become your the minus plus. So plus or minus and the minus plus, there is no change. So I have written that is the plus or minus. You may write this is your the minus, this will be your the plus, according to your choice. And then this you will be the a and the b. So this will be the a minus b, and this will be the plus or minus del a. You have written it, that is the minus of the plus del b. So if we will now expand a minus b, what will the a minus b? That is the z. Then this will be the plus or minus del a plus or minus del b. If it to be the expanded, again there will be the 4 terms. As I said earlier, out of that 4 terms, which one will have your the more choices? Then del a plus del b. So that will have the del a plus del b. So this is equals to z. This will be your the plus of your the this one, means with the del z will be your the del a plus of your the del b. Then what happens? What is this del z? This del z is nothing but with your the real value, that del z value either to be your the more or your the less. Are you clear to my students? Therefore, the answer, suppose the length is this, breadth is this. For the same example, what is the value of here the L minus b? Then the this L minus b will be from the L to the b to be subtracted, because that is your the z. So that z value will be your the 5 minus 2, that is equals to your the 3. But what we will say for it, say the absolute error values. Absolute error values to be your the added, means this will be your the 3 plus or minus these two values to be your the added 0.07 of the centimeter. But the students are doing the mistake here. What mistake they are doing? Though this is the subtraction, the real values to be the subtracted and the absolute values are also to be the subtracted. The absolute values not to be the subtracted. The absolute values are always to be the added. By doing your the two operations, one operation is your the addition, another one is your the subtraction. In the addition case and the subtraction case, what is the common, my students? If it is the addition, the real values to be the added, no doubt. If it is the subtraction, the real values to be the subtracted, no doubt, because we have done it from your the class 1 onwards. But for the errors here, for the addition, the error factors means the absolute errors of that physical quantities to be added and mixed as a mention of your the plus or minus with the real value. Means for these two example, if you will add 5, 2 is your the 7 and the absolute values to be your the added, means 0.07. Very simply, directly you will write. And for your the subtraction for the same one, you have to subtract these two. 5 2 is minus 2 is your the 3, but with that error values that not to be the subtracted, that to be the added, that is the this one. So 3 plus or minus 0.07, this is the 7 plus or minus 0.07. Then you have to mention here the unit. Here the unit is your the chief minister. So you have to write the chief minister here. You have to write the chief minister here. Not here the chief minister, that is the cm, means centimeter. So if it is in the meter, so you have to write in the minister, means meter means minister. So this is in the meter or this is in the meter. If it is in your the ft, then you have to write. If it is given in the kilometer or inch, whatever may be, that unit you have to write. Are you clear? And if you look for your the screen, and that physical quantity's resultant value, if it is given as x, x is that physical quantity which is expressed as sum or the subtraction. But for this one I have taken instead of the x, that is the z, and this is your the x a plus or minus del x. And means a plus or minus means a plus b for the addition, a minus b for your the subtraction, means both are there. So if these two are not the true values, they are with the error. So what will be this one? X plus or minus of your the del x. Then what will be here? Now x plus or minus that del x value we obtain del a plus del b. Here not here the minus, only del a plus of the del b. So on your the screen you are finding that del x by x is equals to del a plus del b, and that x is equals to a plus or minus b. So del x is equals to del a plus del b. So del x by your the x is equals to del a plus del b, and this x is equals to a plus or minus b. We are interested for your the del x. So del x means these two we are the multiplied with x, because here in the division there was the x, x will go there. So a plus or minus b, you see a plus or minus b is what? X. So this x is the cancel. So del x is equals to del a plus del b. Means whatever may be that one, if it is the addition or the subtraction, the error is always to be the added. I said repeatedly so many times. Are you understand for that one? Okay. So these two are your the operation for your the addition and your the subtraction. But we are going to discuss about the propagation. Means for the propagation, it also go for your the multiplication or for your the division. The same way, multiplication and the division. Means we have taken here the a, but the a is not here the a with some error. We have taken another one for your the operation, it needs here the more than of the one. For the addition, can you taken only the one thing, and when you have to add means another thing to be taken. But please take in mind that when the two things are to be added, they must be of the same unit. Means if you have the 5 Newton and you have to add with here the 3 joule, can it to be added? No. So when these two quantities are to be added means they must have the same unit. So the two physical quantities A, another one is the B. A is not, it's the real one, with it some error, later it is the A plus or minus del A, B is here the B plus or minus del B. Clear? For the addition we have to add, for the subtraction we have to subtract. But now we are going to find the multiplication. If it is really A, really B, then its multiplication, say it provides your the Z. But A is not your the A, B is not your the B with this factor. So A into B will never to be your the Z. With that, there will be your the some factor. Are you clear or not? If the milk is not the pure milk, another milk is also not the pure milk, if you will add that two milks, can you expect that that addition will be the only pure milk? No. because the quantities which we are adding, they are not of the same nature what we thought. Therefore, though A is not your the A, B is not your the B, when you will multiply, that multiplication will not to give you the real value which is your the Z, that is your the plus or minus del Z. Means if AB will be the real value, then that will be with the Z. If A is not your the A, that is multiplied with the B not equals to your the B, then this result will not your the Z, that is the Z with plus or minus del Z. Are you clear, my students? As we have done earlier for the addition and the subtraction. A is not your the A, B is not your the B. If A and the B to be added, if A and the B to be added, that was that. If A and B are subtracted, that was the Z, but though A is not A, B is not B, their addition is also not the Z, their subtraction will also not the Z, and their multiplication also the division will not of the Z. So, A into this is equals to this. Now, multiply AB, then A with the this one plus or minus A del B, then this with the this one plus or minus B del A, then this with the this one plus or minus del A del B. So, it has the 2, it has the 2, so there will be the 4, but here there is a plus or minus means more terms, here there is a plus or minus more terms, so that plus or minus it will have the more terms, this plus or minus will also have the more terms, and this is equals to your the Z plus or minus del Z. Clear? But what is your the AB? AB is your the really of your the Z. Then plus or minus A del B plus or minus B del A is equals to your the Z plus or minus of the del Z. Then you will think that, sir, you left one of the term, plus or minus del A into del B, you left that one, but I never left that term. You see, del is what? I said repeatedly, that is very negligible factor, means absolute error, means with the true value and it's the measure value. If the difference is very, very small, then we will say that that is the error. If the difference will be the more, then that is your the mistake. So, here a del A is very, very small, here a del B is the very, very small. When the two very, very small quantities are to be or the multiplied, then that value is too small. For example, if del A is 0.02, if del B is 0.03, then what will your the del A of del B? That will your the 0.06. Are you clear or not? These two are the multiplied. Are you agreeing with me? No, no, no. Sir, that will not your the 0.06. This will not your the 0.06, because it has the 2 decimal places. It has the 2 decimal places. When to be the multiplied, it will have your the 4 decimal places. But the value is the 6. If the 4 decimal places are there, then we have to give in 3 zeros with your the 6. So, if you will observe from 0.02 to 0.0006, 0.03 with 0.0006, either this is greater or this is the less. Sir, what you said? That is greater, this is less. Yes, this is your the less, this is your the greater. Means two quantities are multiplying, but the result is the less than of the individuals. It is not a amazing one. Suppose 3 is multiplied by the 2, the result is the 6. So, when 3 to multiplied the 6, can you say that the multiplication value is less than of the individual value? Here the multiplication value is the 6, individual values are 3, 2. So, it is more, but for your the point things, it will be the reverse one. So, this one. Therefore, del A del B is very, very small. Therefore, I neglected this factor. Clear, my students? I have not left. I left it knowingly because this is the very, very small. Then this plus Z and on that side the Z, that will the cancel. Then this is your the plus or minus A del B plus or minus B del A is equals to plus or minus del Z. If we divided with your the Z, Now divided with the z on your the both sides. So what is the value of the z? Z is equals to your the AB. After dividing, you put the value of the z as your the AB. This value of the z is your the AB, and this will remain here the as such. Sir, why you have not put here the AB? Because it is not in terms of the A and the B. So here A will be the cancel, and here the 50% will be the cancel. Sir, 50% is cancel means, so B means BB is not the 50%, so that is your the BB is your the cancel. So what it remain? Plus or minus del B by B plus or minus del A by A is equals to plus or minus del Z by Z. So plus or minus plus or minus plus or minus, if we will make them out, then del A plus del B is equals to your the del A plus A plus del B by your the B. So del Z by Z is equals to del A by A plus del B by your the B. So what we discussed earlier to this period, del Z by Z is what? That is your the fractional error or the relative error. So the relative error of Z is your the multiplication. So the relative error of the multiplication is equals to sum of, what is this? Relative error. What is this? Relative error, the sum of the relative error of the individuals. So which thing we have to calculate? Though A is not A, B is not B, so their multiplication value will be the Z plus or minus of the del Z. So we have to calculate the value of the del Z. If del Z by Z is equals to this, then what will be the del Z? This into of your the Z. So though A, B are given, A is given means A is known, this del A is also known. For the B, B is your the known, this del B is the known, and what is your the Z? Z is your the AB. So instead of the Z, if you put your the AB, everything is known to us, so we can calculate the value of your the del Z. Are you clear, my students? So to remember that one, we have to write the relative error of the multiplication. You make it a note. Relative error of the multiplication is equals to the sum of relative errors of the individuals. So when the multiplication are there, the error quantities are to be added, but not with directly that error quantity. Directly the error quantity is del A and the del B. But here del A by A means relative error, del B by B means relative errors. Relative errors to be added, then the relative error of the multiplication is determined, then you multiplied by the Z, then you will get your the del Z with the real value, you have to add that one. Are you clear, my students? If we will go for an example, the same example, suppose L is equals to the 2 plus or minus 0.03 centimeter and B is equals to the 3 plus or minus 0.04 centimeter. Probably 5 or the whatever I have taken. So these two we have to multiply. So when these two to be the multiplied, your real values are to be the multiplied. That type of multiplication are doing means with the 6 there will be the certain errors, and that error value is your the del Z. But we are not determining del Z directly. We are determining del Z by Z is equals to this. So for this you have to write, we know del Z by Z is equals to del L by L plus del B by the B. Sir, there you have written A and here you have written L because the quantities are the L and B. If the quantities are the P and Q, del P by P plus del Q by Q. Are you clear? So this del L value is equals to the 0.03. This is your the del B value is equals to the 0.04, and L is equals to the 2. The B value is equals to the 3. Okay, you can take it, see the LCM is your the 6, 2 with the 3 means 0.09 plus 3 with the 2 means 0.08, so that is equals to 0.17 by your the 6, that is the del Z by Z. So what will be the del Z? Into of here the Z. Z is how much? This multiplication real value 3 into 2, that is equals to the 6. So 6 is the cancel, remaining here the 0.17. So del z is equals to the 0.17. What is the result? With the real value of here the 6, because these two we are the multiplied, that is the 6 plus or minus of here the del z 0.17. If this is the centimeter, this is the centimeter, you will write it the centimeter. No sir, that will not be the centimeter. Yes, you have given the attention, because here it is the multiplication. For the multiplication, the result will be it's the square. So it will be the centimeter square. But for the addition, 2 rupees, when 2 are the added, that will be the 4 rupees. When the 2 rupees and 2 rupees to be are the multiplied, 2 into 2 will the 4 rupee into rupee will the rupee square. Therefore, this is your the multiplication. Are you clear to my student? For the multiplication, you have to take in the relative errors, addition, that is the del z by z, then you have to write it the del z value and put there. So if we will go for your the division 1. Let us now go for the division 1. But for the division 1, some new mathematical applications or some new mathematical formula to be or the applicable there. So here A is not your the A, B is not your the B. So A by B something for its the real value, but that will not your the Z. So A is your the plus or minus del A, B is your the plus or minus of the del B. So that is not your the Z. Z with your the some del Z. Clear, my students? For the addition, the real value is not of that one, because the error is there. So that real value with some error. For the multiplication, real value with some error. For the subtraction, real value with some error. For the division, real value with some error. Are you clear? So now we are interested to know the value of here the del z. If that del z factor to be determined in terms of the A del A and here the B del B, then that factor to be or the added or subtracted we will come to know with here the z value. Okay. So here A by B is equals to the z, which is the real values, which is the error. A is your the this one, B is your the this one. So z with your the some factor. So let us now proceed. Take the A common, that is the 1 plus or minus del A by here the A. From denominator take B common, 1 plus or minus del B by B is equals to z plus or minus of here the del z. So this implies A 1 plus or minus del A by here the A. And this one I have taken to here the upper portion, means the B will remain as such by B. This factor I have taken upper portion, 1 plus or minus del B by B, though it was here only with the power 1, when it gone up, that is the power of here the minus 1. So this is equals to here the z plus or minus of here the del z. So for the division we have proceeded likewise. So A by B is remain as such, this B will go up with the power 1, when it will go up, that is the minus 1. So this A by B is what? A by B is really that is your the z. So z with 1 plus or minus del A by your the A, 1 plus or minus del B by your the B, that is equals to z plus or minus del z. So again you will say me, sir, you have written minus 1, but you have forgotten to written here minus 1. No students, I said earlier, you have to put some rules or the some formulas. And 1 plus or minus del B by B to the power of 1 can also be written in this way. And this type of the transformation is known as your the this type of the transformation, binomial expansion. Binomial expansion means if you listen that expansion, then you will become the baya. So when you are becoming the baya, therefore that name is the binomial expansion. That expansion is if a plus b, two terms are there with the power n, that expansion will be, you will be how the baya, please go ahead. A plus b to the power of n is equals to a to the power of n plus nc1 a to the power of n minus 1 plus into b to the power of 1 plus nc2 a to the power of n minus 2 b to the power of 2 plus nc3 a to the power of n minus 3 b to the power of 3. Then you are saying your position, sir, not proceed ahead. We are not understanding anything about that one. So if the power is there, the shortest method is that power will come to your the second term. That second term is your the b. With that it will come, and if it is the minus, this plus will be the minus. If it is the minus, this plus will be your the. If it is the plus, it will remain as such. If it is the minus, it will become your the minus. You see, this is the minus 1. This will come here. It was your the plus minus. When the minus 1 will come here, this plus will become the minus. This minus will become the plus. So it will become your the minus plus. So minus plus is nothing but that is your the plus minus I said earlier. And though it is multiplied with the 1, so what it was, it will remain as that one. Suppose it is your the minus 2. As I said, that power will come to your the second one. This plus minus will become your the minus plus, and this 2 will be remain here. And if it is your the half, suppose it is the plus half, that half will come here, means it was your the plus or minus, so this half will come here, so it will become your the half of your the del b by b. That is, it's the negligible form. You will come to know later in your the plus 2 mathematical topics. So therefore, though it was your the minus 1, this minus 1 came here, so plus becomes the minus becomes the plus, 1 is there, either in the multiplication 1 into x you may write, or you can write it is the x. So this one will be the this much. Now multiply z. If we multiply these two, 1 with 1 plus or minus del b by the b, these two be multiplied plus or minus del a by a into 1, that is the same thing. This plus minus, this plus minus, again it is the plus minus del a by a into del b by b is equals to z plus or minus del z. Are you clear, my students? Now you multiplied with the z. So this is equals to the z plus or minus z of del b by the b, then plus or minus del a by the a into of the z, and this is equals to the z plus or minus del z. Sir, what happened for this one? Because del a by del a is very small, del b by del b is very small, that one is multiplied with the z, that is also very small, therefore that is the neglected, only remain here the this one. You see, this z is the cancel. Then this z value you substitute, this z is equals to the this z value we have divided by your, we have multiplied by the z, so there will be the z here. Now divided by your the z, it to be the divided by z, it to be the divided by z, it to be the divided by z. Okay, so when z to be the divided, this z is cancelled, this z is cancelled, this z will remain as such, because this is the del z, this is the z. So what remain now? Del a by a plus or minus of del b by the b is equals to del z by the z. As we have known from your the multiplication, the del z by z is equals to del a by a plus del b by b. So this implies del z by z plus del z by z is equals to del a by the a plus del b by the b. This is for your the division 1. For the division, the relative error of the division quantity is equals to the sum of the relative error of the individuals. For the multiplication also the same one. For multi and for the division, the relative errors to be added. But for your the what is this one? Addition or for your the subtraction, the only the absolute errors to be your the added. Are you clear? As per in your the screen, you will find that if x is equals to either your the a cross b or the a by your the b, you see del x by x is equals to del a by a plus del b by b, and here we have taken that is the z. So del z by z is equals to del a by a plus del b by your b. And another one thing is, if some quantity x is equals to say a to the power of n, something's power is there, then on that case, if we differentiate on both sides, then del x by x is equals to n of your the del a by your the a, del a, then n times of your the a to the power of n into of your the a. So n into a to the power of n minus 1. This is your the derivative form. If x is equals to x, and if you made your the small change on the both sides, then del x by your the del a will be your the this one. So this one will be your the del x by del a is equals to n into a to the power of n into of your the a to the power of minus 1. This a to the power of minus 1, that is equals to your the a. If we rearrange them, then what will you find? A to the power of n. A to the power of n is equals to your the x. If this is equals to x, then del x by your the x is equals to n times of this del a will go there. So del a by your the a. So del x by x is equals to n times of your the del x by your the x is equals to your the n times of the del a by your the a. So this del x by del x, that is it's the relative error. This del a by a is the relative error, and the relative errors n times. Means if x is equals to your the a to the power of square b square, then what will be your the percentage of error in your the x? Means if this is the multiplication form with its the power, then what will the value of this your the del x by your the x is equals to 2 times of your the del a by your the a plus of your the 2 times of del b by your the b. Sir, why this plus comes? Because this is the multiplication. For your the multiplication, the relative errors to be your the added. So the relative errors to be your the added. But though it is in the power, when it is in the power times comes out. Though this power is your the 2, so this 2 comes out, this power is 2, this 2 is the comes out. And if you take it see the multiplied with the 100, then this is it's the percentage, this is the percentage, this is the percentage. This is the very important for your the JEE or your the medical entrance examinations. So with this, we completed your the first chapter with your the units and the measurements. And if you have your the any doubts, so you can make it here the in your the comment box, and according to that one I will help you. I think the whole chapter is understood by you. Okay, thank you very much.